What's up, good people? What's up, good people? It's your boy, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr., the Impact Builder. We're here on another Finish Strong Friday. Y'all know what we do on Fridays. We finish strong. First question I'm asking you today is, how are you going to finish strong today? I want you to finish strong today, whatever it is that you need to do today. Those top 3 things that you need to get completed today before you do anything else. I need you to take that, and I need you to finish strong Friday. Finish strong Friday. That's what we do here in the lab. Welcome to the brand new suite. The lab, as we call it. We want to make sure that you have not just a busy Friday, but a productive Friday. That's what Finish Strong Friday is all about. It's about finishing strong, about being productive. So we're going to jump right into this. Y'all know what we've been doing all week. The art of leadership. The art of leadership. And we're talking about traits of a high value leader. And we've talked about leadership in the family, in education, in business, and now we're going to talk about the last one. Yeah, I saved the good one for last. as what's it? Vanessa Williams. Vanessa Williams says, save the best for last. So we're going to jump right into this. We've been talking about the traits of a leader, high value traits in a leader, and we're going to look at it from the perspective of the church, being a leader in the church. Morning, Doc. How are you? Hope you're having a good day. Have a great day. But we're talking about being a high value leader in the church, and we've given the traits. I've given the traits all week long. So we'll talk about those traits from a leadership perspective in the church. In the church, do you have these leadership traits? If you don't, then we want you to, you'll like this, Doc. You'll want to reimagine. You want to reimagine these traits and how you can apply them to you as a leader in the church. And y'all can get mad if y'all want to, but leadership in the church is lacking in this day and time. And I want us to take leadership in the church seriously. We've got to step up. We've got to step forward. We've got to be more vocal when it comes to being leaders in the church. Hear me. We've got to be more vocal. And the way you have to be more vocal, but here are the traits that you need in order to be able to do the things that you need to do. What we talked about. We've been talking about them all week. Number 1, you have to have courage. You must have courage. And what does that look like as a leader, high value leader in the church? What that means is, as a leader in the church, whether you're the pastor or in ministry leadership, it means addressing sensitive topics or guiding your congregation through difficult times with courage. That means you have the ability to be able to, or you must have the ability to be able to take people and show them a way through situations, sensitive topics. That means as a pastor, you're not afraid to talk about the topics that everybody else won't talk about. That takes courage. You must have that kind of courage if you're going to be a high value leader in the church. So the first thing you must have is you must have courage. You must operate in courage and not be afraid to address those issues. A lot of pastors are afraid to address those issues, and you can't be. The next thing is you must have vision. As a high value leader in the church, do you have vision? What's the vision for you and your church members? Not just your church members, but the community that you are a part of as a whole. How you going to be a part of a community and not have a vision for your church in that community? What does that look like? You have to, as a spiritual leader, you must share your vision for the church and the mission to impact and its impact on the community. And that's why when I talk about these high value leaders in the different aspects of the community, you as the leader in the church should be connected to the leaders in the other aspects of the community. You should be connected to the family. You should be connected to the educational system in your community. You should be connected to the government in your community. You should be connected to the businesses in your community. That's what high value leaders in the church do. They are connected to every other aspect, and you connect your vision with the vision of the other leaders of the community. That's how the community stays strong. So are you connected as a visionary with the other aspects or other pillars of the community? You got to be a strategic thinker. Are you a strategic thinker? Church leaders strategically plan outreach programs and ministries. What's your plan? What's your plan for your ministry? What's your plan for your ministries that you have? Because as the church, in your church, there should be ministries. There should be different ministries that address the different issues of your congregation. If you're having a struggle with what ministries do I need or do I have, you should be talking to your congregation, asking your congregation what are the needs of your congregation. I have a strategy because I do consulting for churches, for pastors. So if you're looking to be able to speak with me, we can sit down, we can talk about your strategy, put a strategy in. I call it a new approach to sin. And it's not SIN, it's CIN. And that's commitment to impacting the needs of the community. CIN. Are you committed to impacting the needs of your community? You can't do that if you don't know what the needs are of your congregation, or if you don't know, if you don't know the needs of your community. And as a high value leader in the church, you should be looking to fill the needs of your congregation and filling the needs of the community as a whole. So what part do you play with that? But you can't do it if you don't have a strategy. You've got to have a strategy for doing that. And collectively, if you're dealing with the other aspects of leadership in the community, it should all be connected. And if it's all connected, it makes the community stronger. As a high value leader in the church, you have to have empathy. You must have empathy. As a leader in the church, you must demonstrate compassion and understanding during times of individual or collective hardship. We went through the pandemic and are still dealing with the ramifications of the pandemic. And as a high-value leader in the church, how did you deal with it? How did you navigate your congregation through that critical time? That's what I mean when I say that the church has to stand up and stand forward. In those most difficult times, where are you? Where are you there for your congregation? Are you there for your community? When they need you the most, can they count on you? That's what high value leaders in the church do. They stand up. They stand out. They make it be known that we are here for you. If we want to get in front of the congregation and preach about God being there for us in our most needed, necessary times, and you don't turn around and do that for your community or do that for your congregation, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you don't belong in the pulpit. I know y'all ain't gonna like me today. I'm about finishing strong. You don't belong there if you can't If you can't take you don't have the compassion and you don't have the understanding to during tough times to be able to push people and navigate people, guide people through that tough time. That's what you took. That's what you take on that leadership role for. That's what high value leaders in the church do. So you have to show empathy. You got to be resilient. You know it. You knew it was coming. You must be resilient. As a leader, you must remain steadfast in your faith and commitment despite the challenges. What does it look like if you are a leader in the church and you fall apart when things get tough? How do you stand in front of your congregation, stand in front of the community, tell them to keep it together, tell them to get it together, and you don't have it together? How do you, as a high-value leader in the church, tell someone that they need to get their act together in their family, and you don't have yours together in yours? I'm just saying, high value leaders in the church set the example, and they remain steadfast in their faith. That means, we all go through the wishing God, what are you doing? We go through tough times. I ain't saying that we don't. I do it too. I got my moments where I'm fussing at God too. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, I know that the only one that's going to get me through is God himself. And I hold on to that when I go through, the challenges, when I go through the challenges that I go through. And as a high value leader in the church, if you can't hold on to that and display that to your congregation, to the community that you are a part of, you're not a leader. I'm sorry. I call it, like I said, as my dad used to say, it's tight, but it's right. We gotta call it for what it is. So you've got to be able to be resilient. You've got to be resilient. You got to be resilient. You have to have humility. You must, as the leader in the church, you must remain humble. A spiritual leader recognizes their own imperfections and seeking spiritual growth. Like I said, what good is it that you preach, teach, talk about others having their act together and you don't have yours together? How can you show me as a congregant where my flaws are and you don't even want to acknowledge yours? And I ain't saying you got to blast your stuff all over the place and everything like that. But you must acknowledge your flaws too. And you must not think that you are high and mightier than anyone else. I tell you this very thing. I think part of why people do not there's been a decline in church attendance is the lack of humility of the church. If the church would humble itself and bring a transparency to the church, I think it would bring more people to the church. I think that there is this lack of humbleness, and they think they're better than us. So people are like, no, I'm not going there. Or the hypocrisy in the church these days. So as a high value leader, those can't be traits that you have and that you display. You've got to remain humble. You've got to be decisive. You must, as a leader, you must make firm decisions on matters affecting the congregation. You must make firm decisions on matters that affect the community that you are a part of. And you must be willing to stand on that. That goes to what we first talked about, being courageous. You've got to be willing to make those decisions that everybody else isn't willing to make. That's why you are the leader. So you call yourself a leader, then act like it. Step in it, walk in it. If you call yourself a leader, high value leaders are decisive. You're going to think about it, and you're going to make the best decision for the church. Not you as an individual, but your church, your congregants, your community, when you make those decisions. It's not, oh, I'm doing it my way, or what's better benefiting me. It's only going to benefit whatever benefits me. That's not how this works, y'all. That's not how leadership works. You want to be a boss? Then you're going to have to sacrifice. You're going to have to serve. In making the hard decisions and being decisive in those decisions and be willing to stand on what it is that you do. That's part of being a high-value leader, y'all. Adaptability. You must be willing to adjust your programs, your ministries, to meet the evolving needs of the congregation. Like I said, here's the question and here's the homework for you pastors. Do you have a commitment to impacting the needs of the community? Or if you want to put congregation. That's the new approach to sin. Not S-I-N, but C-I-N. What's your C-I-N? What's your commitment to impacting the needs of your congregation, of your community? Think about it. That's what high-value leaders do in the church. They have a commitment to impacting the needs of the community. What's up, D? Do you have that? That's what, I'm placing that on high-value leaders in the church. That's the question you got to ask yourself. Do you have a commitment to impacting the needs of your community? And are you willing to adapt what you do to those needs? Can you communicate inspiration to your congregation? Spiritual leaders delivering sermons that inspire and uplift the congregation. Not just sermons, y'all, not just sermons, but the way that you serve in the community. Are you an advocate for your community? Yeah, I told y'all, we finishing strong today. Are you an advocate? Is your church an advocate for the community? Are you an advocate for your congregation and for your community that you serve? That's what you got to deal with. High-value leaders in the church are advocates for their congregation first, for their community second. We're not playing with this leadership thing, y'all. Whether it's the family or whether it's the church, we ain't playing. There's no time to play. And with that communication, are you effectively communicating that? But are you also connecting? Do you have an inspirational connection to your congregation? Can they relate to you? Part of the problem with the church, with this 21st century church, is that it is not connected with the congregation. It is not connected with the community. Oh yeah, I know y'all don't like me right now. Y'all are not liking me at all right now. But it's true. It's nothing to communicate. We can all communicate, or have the ability to be able to communicate. You as a pastor, you can communicate. But here's the question: are you connecting? And I would challenge many pastors this day, saying that the church as a whole is not connected to its congregation, not connected to its community. Because if we were, if the church were connected to its congregation in its community, our communities would be so much better. If I'm lying, if I'm making a false statement, let me know. But there's a reason, there's a direct reason that there's a decline in people either leaving the church or not coming to church. My question to you is, what are those reasons? And one of those major reasons is the communication and connection that the church has with its congregation and with its community. I'm just saying. And then the last one, y'all, is integrity. You must have integrity. Leaders in the church must exemplify spiritual integrity through moral and ethical conduct. Are you, as a leader in the church, operating with integrity, and are you exemplifying integrity through moral and ethical conduct? Is that the way that you're being seen by your congregation and by your community and the church as a whole? Because I tell you right now that the church has a bad reputation. Its brand, the church brand, if you will, is not one that is looked at in a good way. It's really not right now. And it's our responsibility as leaders in the church to make sure that reputation, that way that the church is seen is seen in a positive light. And that'll be part of how we gain congregants back to the church, is operating in integrity. There's a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths about the church because of integrity. And hopefully these principles and these traits that I've given give us an idea of where we need to be as a whole, as leaders, whether you're a leader in the family, education, government, business, or the church. These traits that I talked about: integrity, inspirational communication and connection, adaptability, decisiveness, humility, resilience, empathy, strategic thinking, vision, and courage. If when we operate in that space, we give ourselves the ability to make the community better, stronger, and even more flourishing. There's not, and I've said this before, there's not one community that you look at from this perspective that is flourishing and does not have these traits that I'm talking about. I promise you, take a look at your community and ask yourself, does my leadership in these areas, with the family, with education, with government, with business, in the church, are they operating with courage, with vision, with humility, with strategic thinking, with integrity? And I promise you, if they're operating in this high value manner, I promise you it's a flourishing community. But you can't do it if you don't have the high value standards. Every aspect of leadership must have high value standards. And when they don't, what happens is what we see in some aspects of leadership. If there's no high value standard, then you see that there is usually, there's no direction, there's no moving forward. There's no sense of humility. All of those things are missing and lacking. And yeah, I'm here. I'm here to give it to you. Because we've got to be willing to, we got to be courageous enough to call it for what it is and move forward. So I hope this series this week has been good. What I've talked about this week, The Art of Leadership. You can grab the book. You can go to my link tree. I'll put the link in the comments section. And for those entrepreneurs and as I talked about today, church leaders, you can actually, I have A New Approach to Sin, but I also have my booklet that I have here. You can see this is the entrepreneurship kit that you can gain, that you can get. It's the what I call the brand new entrepreneur kit, which is what is needed for the church, which is needed for businesses, which is needed for government too. But for those that are looking to be able to add structure, add systems, all those things that you need in order to be able to be successful as a church, as a business, in every other aspect too. But you can certainly pick those up. Y'all know I'm on my goal is to get 1,000 subscribers. So if you can go over and check out the YouTube channel and subscribe there, you can hit the notification bell as well. JNF Enterprises, if you put that in, or if you put my name in, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr., the YouTube channel will come up. I'll put that link in the comment section as well. But if we can get to 1,000 subscribers, that would be totally awesome. But these things, I'll give you these principles because I told you my goal is always to make you better by the end of the year than you were at the beginning of the year. We as leaders must continuously and consistently and persistently want to be better. That's what these videos are all about, is making us better. I want us, from a leadership standpoint, from an entrepreneur standpoint, from a branding standpoint, to always be better, always be moving forward. So I hope this works out for you. Hope this helps you. Hope this is something that contributes to making you better. And we'll see you all next week. Do something fun this weekend. It's supposed to be nice. I think it's supposed to rain today here. So get out if you can. Get some vitamin D if the sun is out where you are. But just enjoy. Have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. Do something fun, as I always say. March Madness is upon us, so enjoy the basketball games. I know a lot of the tournaments are going on right now, so I want you to get to enjoy those as well too. But do something fun, and remember, high value leaders, these traits of the high value leader, you must have them if we're going to be able to step into the places and spaces that we need to as leaders, and if we want people to respect us and to follow what it is that we want them to do. We'll see y'all next week with another topic that we'll be discussing as well. Enjoy. It's your boy, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr., the Impact Builder. Peace.